Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the Black and Gold podcast. And today we're going to get into the offensive guards. And this is actually where I believe this is where I actually believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers could definitely some do some damage here. I truly believe this is a position that's a need. I've always said uh, with this draft, and like I say, it's just going to be kind of hard to determine what the Steelers really going to do because they can go so many different ways. But one of the things that I really like in this with this group is this is a position of need. I truly believe right now the Steelers need a starting um, left guard. I think the Steelers need, and we'll go back and forth with this, even with the receiver. I think the Steelers still need a starting receiver. So these are areas where I think are very important areas they need to hit. And I think all the other positions, um, yeah, do you want to upgrade the talent? Absolutely. But like at linebacker and all those type positions, is it a definitely need? No. Because you have your starters. So yeah, you always want to bring in quality depth, but I think at left guard and I think at wide receiver, wide receiver 3 because the Steelers are going to play a lot of um 11 personnel, which would be 3 receivers. They need a starting wide receiver. So right there, and obviously quarterback is always important, but that's like a whole nother situation that we'll talk about there. Let me see what we got here. Let's read this real quick here. I'm not going to step on your toes by mentioning a lot of favors, oh, but it's a deep group, and we will get a good one. No doubt, no doubt. And we about to go over this right now because, like I say, it's some good guys in this draft that I think that regardless of how stuff shake out, the Pittsburgh Steelers should get a guy that I believe with some good coaching. I mean, obviously, any rookie gonna still need some coaching, but with some good coaching, you can get a quality guy later on in this draft if stuff just depends on how stuff works out. So going right into this, my number 10 guy, and I'm sorry if I destroy his name, Fabuchi uh Wehu. Fabuchi Wehu. I think that's how you pronounce his name, and I apologize if I totally destroyed his name. I don't want the big man to come after me, but that's what we got. So anyway, 6'4", 319 pounds. Um, again, he's a great athlete. Another guy that probably you're looking at fourth round. If you kind of want to reach for him, you could get him with your last third round pick. But I'm thinking he would definitely be like a fourth round pick. You got 2 fourth round picks. This is the guy that could come in and I don't know, is he a day one starter? Man, that's a good question there. But he's definitely a guy that would feel the needs of the Steelers, and definitely he'll be a guy that he would definitely come into camp and compete. And at this point, that's all you want. That's all you want is just a guy to come in and compete and hold his own, and you just never know, what you can get out of him. Because like I say, something else you got to remember, and if you go back in the history of the draft, guards a lot of times. I mean, unless you just a lights out guard, guards really don't not too many of them really even go in the first round, to be honest. And I mean, just look at the draft. Um, Not many of those guys go in the first round, and the ones that go in the first rounds are usually those guys that everybody got a feeling that he's not, he's a guy that you just can't miss on, a guy you just can't pass up on. But for the most part, those guards really don't go in the first round a lot. So that's another thing that you have to look at. What we got here? Greg Hope. I know you included some OTs and offensive line prospects in yesterday's list, like Gunnar Duncan. Yep. Are you leaving them off this one? Yeah, I'm leaving those guys off. Like I said, with Dunker, he's a guy. Yeah, he's a tackle, but he's a guy that could convert over to guard, because that's the one thing about this. If you look at this tackle, um, these tackles prospects, it's no, you don't have the Basellis or the Jonathan Augman, that the guys that you just could say these are definitely left tackles or right tackles, and that's what they're gonna play. A lot of these guys that's coming out now, especially in this class, a lot of those tackles can convert over to guard. So yeah, I'm leaving those guys off. I counted them with the tackles, but um these could be guys that could definitely transition over and be moved to guard. All right, so my number 9 guy, Amaje Reed Adams, another guy, Texas Tech. Oh man, Texas Tech had a nice offensive line. 6'6", 314 pounds, 5.2, 840. Again, another big, solid guy, big, long arms. Is he a day one starter? Again, he's a guy that I think he could come in and compete, and actually give you some good competition. Like I say, get some good coaching. You never know, and that's one of the things that um as Steeler fans we just don't know. I mean, I think the offensive line coaches, well, I more than think. I think these offensive line coaches we have are going to be better than what we had in the past. So these guys might come in here and really could get some out of these young guys. But Reed Adams, right now, could I say we could pencil him in at the starting right um left guard? I can't really say that, but I know he's good enough to come in, and especially what the Steelers have at that position right now, to come in and compete and definitely hold his own, and maybe come out of camp and win a job. But I will tell you this: I truly believe all these guys I have on this list are better than Spencer Anderson. So if that's going to be really the main competition, a lot of these guys are going to start for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, right away. And this is, again, this is another kid that I think at the latest you can get him in the 4th round. Like I say, the Steelers got 2 4th-round picks, and I think that's probably where it's going to end with the Steelers as far as moving picks around. I think the Steelers are definitely going. Well, they're definitely going to use their 1st round, use their 2nd round. I can see them using all 3 of those thirds, and even one of those thirds maybe getting traded if they want to move up, in the 2nd or 1st round. The 4th round picks, I think they'll use both of those, but again, one of those could maybe get traded. And after that, the 5th and 6th and those 3 7th, who knows? It's gonna be a lot of movement with those picks, and those are picks that the Steelers may not even use. I mean, and they probably won't get rid of all of them, but those picks are definitely gonna be trade trade things that they can use. So right now, like I said, with Reed Adams, a guy I think you could get in the fourth round. A guy that I would be comfortable with competing with Spencer Adams and I mean Anderson, and I think he could actually probably beat him out. So this is a kid. I mean, you can't draft him as thinking that he's gonna start, but this is the kid have a good camp. He could maybe win him a position. All right, and this is the kid Iowa. I mean, Iowa, their offensive line was loaded, and this was all American. Um, Blue Stevens, another big, powerful guy. Another guy that, again, I think with Stevens now, I think he's a solid fourth round pick. Solid fourth. Maybe you had to use that last third to get him. 6'6", 315, a 5.3, 540. And to be honest, these 40s with offensive linemen are really not that important. I think and I should have did this. I think the main thing that you want to see in offensive linemen is they split. So that first split is really gonna let you know if this guy can move. Because I mean, you just ain't gonna get an offensive lineman sprinting 40 yards. But that first split is very important because that's kind of representing pulling and getting in front of screens and all that type stuff. So that's where, and I had to keep that in mind with our offensive linemen. I'm gonna start putting their splits instead of their whole 40. Um, but it'll let you know if a guy runs a quick 40 for a big guy, it kind of lets you know that they're kind of athletic. But Bo Stevens, I mean, he had an injury last year, so he came back strong this year. Um, his biggest deal when you look at his write up is how athletic is he? It's just a little question on how athletic he is, and a lot of times you want your guards to be able to pull and like I say, get in front of screens and all that type stuff. So that's gonna really be his major concern is he athletic enough to do it on the NFL level. But again, I think he's a third, fourth round pick. He's another guy that I just think that the Steelers can bring in and give Spencer Anderson some competition. And you never know. You never know. He's a guy that could definitely come in and maybe win a spot. Yep. So let's keep it moving. Another very interesting guy, Jaden Roberts, Alabama, 6'5", 333, big guy. He ran a 5.0 40, another big, just mauler. I mean, and this is what I don't understand. And I don't know if it was just a coaching situation or was it a running back, a talent situation. And this was kind of hurt Ty Simpson at the end of the year. For some reason, and Alabama had some maulers on that offensive line. They couldn't run the ball. I mean, I'm talking about they could not run the ball at all. And so the end of the year, they was basically one dimensional. And so that kind of hurt Simpson in his development, and it kind of was part of why he kind of folded at the end of the year. And I just don't understand it. I haven't honestly, I didn't pay that much attention to Alabama like that, but it was a situation because they could not run the ball. I felt like they were one dimensional, but they got some dudes on that offensive line. So with that said, it kind of make me wonder how good was the coaching, or what was going on with the coach. What was just going on with the team. Period. So you know that's just something that is kind of a mystery with me. But again, same thing as the other guy. This is the kid that you probably could get in the fourth round. Um, he's a kid that you could definitely he could definitely bring you depth, um, if anything. But he's a guy that I would put in there and let him compete. You know, let him compete for a job because you also got to remember some of these guys just play. Some of these guys probably are better at right guard instead of left guard. And but you got to remember Mason McCormick, believe it or not, he may not be on the Pittsburgh Steelers after this year because especially if he has a good year, because it's just gonna become a money thing, and the Steelers is Faramudo. You definitely gonna have to pay him. You're gonna have to pay Frazier, so it's just a money thing. So sometimes you can't keep all these guys. So that's why you got to constantly keep bringing in talent. You got to constantly keep bringing in talent and letting these guys develop and plug them in when you decide from a business standpoint that you may have to let somebody go. And then at some point you're going to get a guy that's just too good, and you're going to work what you got to work to keep them. But if it's guys that you think that you can let go, save some money, and you got a guy right behind him that you can plug in there, that's what you're going to have to do. And that's what I think Roberts could be, that type of guy that the Steelers could maybe plug in. um Again, I mean, he's a strong big guy, so he can bull rush. Definitely gonna help the running game. Um, but like I say, I just have questions of what was going on in Alabama as far as why they couldn't run the ball. I mean, what was it that these guys not that good? Was it a coaching situation? Was it a running back situation? I don't know, but it was just very, very funny to me. Billy Scapton, Notre Dame, another 6'5", 310. He ran a 5.25. This is my number 6 guard. Again, just a guy that you would just bring in definitely for depth. Is this a guy that he would make the team, and you just have to just work through it and like I say, let him compete. And I'm gonna say this. I know you probably like you saying this for all these guys, but that's what they are. That's what they are. Like none of these guys are just guys that I would say that we just could plug in and play. Because a lot of these guys probably gonna need a little bit more coaching. Get a little bit more coaching, maybe even get a little bit more stronger. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. Um, what their situation would be. Um, yeah. So this is a guard. He has he's a great pass protector. They say he does it at a very high level, and that's what you need. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is going to be our quarterback, which he will be, I'm not even going to say going to be, want to be, but um, you need guys in there to protect him and give him time to do what he has to do. So again, this is the guy that you bring in. Um, at minimum, he's going to bring you depth, and he's a guy that can continue to develop, and maybe next year you might can plug him into the starting lineup, or he could come in and win a job right away. Now we're kind of getting to guys that I believe um, would have a very good chance of winning. Yeah, he does. He does have a lot of injuries. You're right. He actually, I was watching that game against USC. I think he sprained his ACL, and so yeah, he does. He absolutely does. Greg, hope you definitely right. He does have a lot of injury concerns, and that's something that you really got to watch out for. Because to me, when a guy kind of show you that he's injury prone, 9 out of 10 times, that's what those guys are. And I know you do have some people that kind of grow out of it, and you know, can just kind of overcome that. But most of the times, when a guy show you that he's injury prone, he's usually injury prone. But starting right here at my number 5, Kalen Rutledge. I think this is a guy that I give a very good chance of coming in and starting. I think he could definitely push Spencer Anderson big time, and he's a guy that you know, especially running the ball, because Georgia Tech was like one of the best teams running the ball. He's definitely going to do that, and I think, like I say, now we're getting into guys that I think that could definitely come in here and start year one. Year one, I think these guys could definitely do that, and I think Rutledge is one of those guys that I believe the Steelers could draft and have a good chance of starting. Now, I think with him, he definitely should be there at 53. It's going to be close. But I think this is a guy that third round, one of those 3 third-round picks, I think you could get him. I think you could get him in the third round. And yes, he's nasty, and that's one of the things you want, and that's why I laugh at people when a lot of people say, "Well, let's move Broderick Jones, just move him inside the guard." And no, because one of the things you look for in your guards is your guards. You want those guys to be nasty, man. You want these guys to play with attitudes, because even though the tackles are still in, they're in that area, but that them 2 guards in the center, that's where it's going down. It is going down every play, every single play with those 3 guys. And you can't have no soft guy there. I mean, you got to have some guys that got some attitude, that's gonna play to the echo or the whistle, and hey, do whatever it takes. Do whatever they got to do in that pile, or before it becomes a pile, to make sure they're getting their job done. And that's the one thing that Rutgers have. He has a nasty attitude, and you put that with McCormick, because McCormick kind of plays that way. He's one of those guys that plays to the echo or the whistle. He kind of played with a little chip on his shoulder, and that's what you want. That's what you want in your interior guards, in which Broderick Jones have never showed that, and to move him to guard would really be terrible, because he's just that much closer to the quarterback, and he would really get your quarterback killed, in my opinion. But that's a good point. That's a good point. So moving on, Jalen Farmer. This a mean dude here, man. This is a mean dude. I mean, if you just look at that picture right there, this is a mean dude. 6'5", 312 pounds, ran a 4.93. I want to say, I think he started off at Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Um, still needs some little finer coaching points, but um, he's a good player. He's actually a good player. You don't hear a lot of people. He haven't really got that much. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about him, but just looking at his numbers and looking at his film, this is a mean guy here. Like, if you in a bar fight or in an alley, this is one of the guys you want with you. because he as the young people say, he's about it. He is about it. So just from a football standpoint, just needs to like and it's the same thing with all these guys. Just need to be coached up. Just need to be coached up a little bit more. Again, this is the guy that I believe that could win a position and could be your starting quarterback. I mean, starting left tackle. So what I'm saying is that when you see this, especially these last five guys that we talked about, all these guys could actually come in here and start. So that's why sometimes you have to look at yeah, we have a opening that we need to fill on at left guard, but sometimes do I it's better to maybe if I can get this guard a little later and use that 21st pick to get a big time weapon for my quarterback for Aaron Rodgers and my quarterback moving forward. You got to look at that. You got to look at that because it's plenty of guards here that I think the Steelers can get that can plug that left guard position up. Let's see what they really say about him. Yeah. Yep. See, it says right here. This is a guard who plays with genuine nastiness. This dude, like I tell you, if you go do yourself a favor and watch his film, this dude is nasty. Like he's one of the old school type um Pittsburgh Steelers. He might. I mean, and I'm quite sure in the NFL he'll calm it down a little bit because when they start taxing them pockets. But this dude played with that type of nastiness, and that's what you need. That's what you need. And I'm really starting. And to be honest, I didn't really pay too much attention to him. And then when I started doing this and I started looking at him, I like him. That's why I actually moved him ahead of Rutledge. I like him a lot. I like him a lot, man. And I think this is a guy that could definitely um work out. And as you see, even in his write-ups, he had a hard, he had to clean up his penalties because, like I say, he's nasty. He's a mean he's a mean dude. So he had some unnecessary penalties that he kind of cleaned up. Got to get a little bit more discipline. He gets handsy, like I say, he just played with an attitude, and but you got to calm that. He got to learn. He got to calm that down a little bit. Um, but this is the guy with some great coaching, in which he will have with Coach Evans, which was a Pro Bowler guard with the New Orleans Saints. Probably going to be a Hall of Famer sooner than later. Um, Mentoring a kid like him, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. So like I say, it's some players out here, and don't get fooled. Don't get all into the hype and listening to this and that. It's some great players out there that people kind of overlook that could definitely be good players for the Steelers. But that's the one thing that I understand as fans. We always just gonna go with the popular guy, and I understand that the Steelers, they see it. They if as fans we may not see it, and like I say, we want to just be with the popular guys, but they see it, and they see these guys that a lot of times that we don't talk about, but they see it here. Now, my number 3, Chase Bisonis. Bisonis. I like him too. 6'5", 315 pounds, ran a 5.02 40. Great feet. He also has a little mean streak in him. But also he's a great pass protector. Great pass protector. And he's a genuine left guard. He's a genuine left guard. That's what he is. It's not no, he played the right side. I mean, I think he played the right side as a freshman. So he does have experience if he got a flip, but he's a guy that's a left guard, ready to go. I say starting right here. This is the first guy that I say starting right here. The coaches, the first day of practice, he's lining up with the starting um he's lining up with the starting offensive line from day one. That's how confident I feel in him from day one. When that first mini camp, he's gonna be lining up with the starting offensive lineman. Um, I truly believe that, and I think obviously these next three guys are guys that I believe from day one. You plug them right in. You plug these guys right in, ready to play, ready to go. It will be a little bit of learning. They rookies, so they got a little learning curve, but these guys you don't mess around with. Um, let them get as many reps as they need, and the way you do that is just go ahead and plug them in right now, and let them work out what they got to work out. But this is where I start with the starters that I think these guys would be starters, and Bisanis is my first guy that I believe um, will be a starter. And this definitely, I think he's definitely a second round pick. You got to get him in the second round. You may even have to move up from 53. You may have to even move up a little bit to get him, but he's definitely going in the second round for sure. I mean, he has it all. He has it all. He does it. He does it. He does it. He does everything. Great, but he's really a great pass protector. He can pull, he can climb, and he can get to that second level. I mean, again, he's another guy. Watch the film. Watch the film of this kid. This is a guy I kind of think has been kind of under the radar. I'm not gonna say all over the country, but I just know from a Pittsburgh Steelers standpoint, I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about him. I like this kid a lot. I like this kid a lot, and he would be a guy that if the Steelers um had draft him, I wouldn't be mad, and I would understand. Okay, here we go. This is another plug and play guy. Emmanuel Pregon, 6'4", 314 pounds, um, 5.21 40. Another guy that I think he's a plug and play. So from day one, I'm not messing around with no competition. I ain't messing around with him and Spencer Anderson. He's going right into the starting lineup, and we just gonna have to work it out. Because I think this kid got a chance to be great. And this is a kid that um I think he's probably again you're not gonna get him at 53. That's for sure. Definitely not gonna get him at 53. So you're probably gonna have to move up in the second round if you decide that you want to get him, and he may even still sneak into the first round, late in the first round, or he may be a guy that a team may trade back into the first round to get. So it's gonna be a little tricky if the Steelers can get him. Um, he may be a guy if they feel strong enough about him. You take him at 21. I don't know. I just don't know how what's their feeling about him. But if you took him at 21, I'm not going to sit here and try to say that's a super reach. So that's another situation and another guy that I think from day one, I'm not messing with around. I'm not messing around with Spencer Anderson. This kid is going straight with the number ones, and and he's going to have to do his thing. I mean, if you just look at, I mean, he went to the combine as a lineman and ate it up, and so he's definitely athletic. This is a guy that can pull. He can be able to climb. He can do everything that you want from him, and he his attitude. That I mean, I guess it's okay. I don't know. I really didn't see that in his play. I just seen a great athlete, a great guard, um, offensive line coach dream. He's an offensive line coach dream, and I know the Steelers can't stay at 53 and get him. That ain't gonna happen. So you're definitely gonna have to move all the way up pretty high in the second round, or you may even have to take this kid at 21 if you feel that strong about him. But um, a great player that again I would love for the Steelers to have, and obviously the number one guy, the number one guard, which I don't believe, because one of the things, you got too many teams that have two first round picks, and those teams that got those two first round picks, they're going to be in on him for sure. I'm not going to even try to say his whole name, but when you're that big like that, you can go by one name, and his one name is Vega. 6'4", 320 pounds, ran a 5.35. Just a solid. I mean, he's a monster. He's a monster. He's strong. Like, and you got to remember, he ain't even got his old man strength yet. So, this is the guy you draft. Um, he's your guy for the next 10 years. And in 10 years, that's when he gonna just be really getting strong, because he have his old man strength then. But he can do it all. He can move, he can pull, he plays with an attitude. Um, but at 21, I do not see him being there. I see him going in that 12. No, maybe 12 is a little bit. I see him going in that 14 to 18 range. 14 to 18 range. I see him going in there. I can even see a team maybe moving up to grab him. But I think anywhere from that um about 14 to 18, I see him and I think 18 is late, but that's where I kind of see him going. So I very seriously doubt that he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think he's going to be there. But if he's there, the Steelers are going to have a decision to make, because I mean, do you go guard or do you go receiver? Um, that's going to be a All right, yeah, thanks. That's what I was talking about. That's what I like to see. I want to see these splits. And Rutledge had Farmer. All right, Farmer. Yeah. So for the most part, those guys splits are all about the same. So that's letting you know these are the guys that can move. These are the guys that that can get out in front of your screens. These are guys that you can pull. And I think honestly with linemen, that's really more important than they 40. Um so that was good work, Greg. I appreciate that. So what Greg did, he pulled up the guy's splits, 10-yard splits. And I think this is really important with with offensive guards. And as you can see, Farmer and be honest, was they were the best ones. And like I say, I like that kid a lot. I like both of them. Actually, I like both of those guys, and I would not. I would not be mad if the Steelers got either one of those guys. And I know it may not be a popular pick with a lot of the Yinzers out there, but I think these are two guys that's underrated, and people are kind of overlooking them. But I think the people in the know, I think the coaches and people in the know, they know about these guys, and they know what what's the deal with these guys. But yeah, Vega, can we get him? I think it's gonna be kind of hard. I think it's gonna be hard, but if he is there, it's just gonna be a decision. Do you wanna make that move with a guard at 21? So we'll see. We'll see. That's pretty much it with the offensive line. We had to do the centers, which the Steelers we really won't be in the market for a center. But again, it's always you got to look at everything. Maybe you do bring in the center if it's one out there that you like, and maybe you can get fourth, fifth round because Steelers got a decision to make. You seen what the money Ty Linderbaum just got. Um, Frazier sees that, and I guess he would probably say, he's probably you got Linderbaum, you got Humphreys, and you got the kid in Miami that hell he might be better than both of them. That kid is pretty good. And then after that, you probably got Frazier. So he's probably easily looking at I want 18, 17 million a year. So you just never know. You never know. So you always gotta protect yourself. You always gotta protect yourself. And I think that was one of the things that the Steelers didn't do a few years ago when they had that great line. They kind of just didn't um keep adding pieces. And then all of a sudden, these guys got old, they got injured, and you seen what happened. The Pittsburgh Steelers had probably the worst offensive line ever. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it was terrible. So, um, it's just that's one of those things that you have to always look at. So we'll look at the centers and like I say, the Steelers are really not in the market for that, but you never know. You never know. What's this here? I see Vega 14, 18. Yep, round in there. Round in there. Yeah. Yep. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, Greg. I can 100% agree with that. Um, so as you can see right there, uh, you might have to move up. You might have to move up to get those next two guys. Like I say, I don't think if Vega is gonna be 14, 18. I mean, even though 18 is reachable, but I don't really think the Steelers are that sold on him that they're gonna give up some capital to get him. So I think Vega is gonna definitely be out the picture. But the other two, they are I think they're fair game, and I really believe the Steelers will definitely try to get one of these guys. And if they can't, Rutledge might be right there for them. But we're gonna see. But like I say, I think if you get any four of those guys, um, any one of those four, I think you're gonna be okay. I think you're gonna be okay. Like I said, I think the first three guys are forget the competition. just plug those guys right into the starting lineup right now. I think Rutledge, you kind of put him through a competition. I think he could definitely beat out Spencer Anderson, and maybe halfway through the season or whatever, he's probably going to be your starter. But I think those first three from day one, you put them right in there and get the rolling with those guys. So with that said, yeah, yeah, I kind of see Vega now. I never really wanted. Yolanda ain't here today. I really didn't never want to say it, but I got a feeling Vega gonna be a Raven. He fits. He fits what they try to do and what they want to do, and I just can see the Ravens definitely snatching him up. So I can see that guy in that old nasty purple, but that's definitely my prediction there. So I had announced this yesterday and I'll keep announcing it. But Thursday night, we're gonna have a mock draft, but it's gonna be the chat. It's gonna be the chat's mock draft. I'm gonna let you guys I'm gonna let you guys I'm just gonna run I'm gonna run the draft, but I'm gonna take I'm listening to the chat. So depending on how many people we have in there, it's gonna be you guys night, and we gonna see what the chat come up with, and then we gonna hold on to those picks, and then we're gonna compare it to what the Steelers really do and see um how good the chat. Hey, it might come out that all us doing these podcasts and talking all this stuff, and hell, we might not. None of us might not know what we talking about. In the chat is gonna come out here and nail the whole draft. You never know. But yeah, that's something I want to do. I want to give you guys the opportunity to make y'all picks, and this is gonna be the chat's mock draft, and I had to see. I'm thinking about maybe doing a little something and and put the chat's mock draft up against mine's, and whoever if the chat comes out with a better percentage than my mock draft against what the Steelers do, maybe we'll do some type of lottery, and the winner of that out of the chat, maybe we get a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey or something. We'll figure something out. But I think Thursday should be fun, and we're gonna do all 12 picks. We're not gonna do no trades or anything like that. It's just gonna be straight picks. So you're gonna do that Thursday at 8 o'clock. So if you don't have anything to do, make sure you join in and be part of this, and we'll see. So with that said, you guys take care. I appreciate you joining. And Greg, I just read your comment that you put on there, and I really do appreciate that. Um, and I just I will keep trying to put good work out there. So with that said, you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you later. All right, bye bye.